Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a topic that can honestly strike fear into the heart of any website owner, that dreaded Google penalty. We're going to look at what it is, why it happens, and probably most importantly, how you can figure out if you've been hit by one. All right, so let's set the scene. Imagine this. One day, your business is humming along just fine. You're getting clicks, leads are coming in, maybe sales are up. The very next day, you check your analytics and your traffic has just fallen off a cliff. It's a total nightmare scenario, right? And the absolute first question you have to answer is, what on earth just happens? So before you can even think about a fix, you got to properly diagnose the problem. And, one of the most common and frankly most serious reasons for a sudden drop like that is a direct penalty from Google itself. Okay, first things first, a penalty isn't just some random thing that happens. It's a very direct punishment, a consequence, because some part of your site isn't playing by Google's official rules. Now, this could mean your rankings just take a bit of a dip, or in a really bad case, your site could get de-indexed completely, which, means you're basically invisible on Google.
So how does this actually go down? Well, a penalty usually comes in one of two flavors. On one hand, you have the big automated algorithm updates. A great example is the mobile gutted update that hit sites that weren't mobile-friendly. On the other hand, you've got manual reviews. This is where an actual person at Google has looked at your site and found a very specific violation, usually tied to some of those shady black hat SEO tricks.
So what are these violations? I mean, what kind of SEO sins are we talking about that can get a website in hot water in the first place? Let's take a look at the most common culprits. The problem areas typically fall into three big buckets. First, you've got link violations, things like buying links or getting them from totally irrelevant websites. Second, content violations. Think really thin, low-value pages or just straight-up duplicate content that offers nothing new. And finally, you have on-page tactics like keyword stuffing, that old trick of just cramming a keyword onto a page a million times. The thing to remember is that Google's algorithm gets more and more sophisticated every year, which makes it way harder to get away with this stuff. And let's be really clear about what's at stake here. This is not just about losing a couple of spots in the search results. A penalty can seriously damage your traffic, your leads, and ultimately your bottom line. It's a direct hit to your business.
So if you're starting to suspect you've been hit, how do you actually confirm it? The good news is you don't have to just guess. There's a whole toolkit of things you can use to help you find the cause.
Yeah, there are some absolutely fantastic diagnostic tools out there. The Penguin tool, for instance, is a lifesaver if you think a specific update is to blame, because it literally puts Google's algorithm changes right on top of your traffic data. It makes it super easy to spot a correlation. But if you just want a sort of weather report for how Google's feeling, you can use something like the SEMrush sensor. It tracks the day-to-day chaos so you know if things are calm or if a storm is brewing. To make this even more real, let's look at how one of these tools actually works. Rank Ranger uses this incredibly simple color-coded system. If you see blue, awesome, you're in the clear. Green means you're okay, but hey, there's some room for improvement. But if you see red, that's your warning sign. That's a clear signal that your site is in the danger zone and you've got to take action. It's like a super quick visual checkup for your website's health. Okay, so you've used the tools, you've done the digging, and you've confirmed it. You've been penalized. Now look, it's a serious situation, but it is not the end of the world. Now we just focus on the path to recovery, how to get back into Google's good graces. The big takeaway here is this really straightforward 4-step recovery plan. First, you clean up all those bad links using Google's own disavow tool. Second, you have to actually fix the problems on your site, whether that's the thin content or the keyword stuffing. Third, you formally ask Google to take another look by submitting a reconsideration request. And finally, and this is so important, you don't just stop there. You keep monitoring your site to make sure you stay on the right side of the guidelines moving forward. In the end, it all really boils down to this one question. The whole point of this explainer is to give you the knowledge to answer that question with confidence. By understanding the rules of the game, using the right tools to diagnose problems, and just focusing on quality, you can build an SEO strategy that actually fuels your growth, instead of one that puts your entire business at risk.